Hello, hi, everybody. Hi, happy Tuesday. It's been a couple days since you've seen me, and as you know, I'm on digital detox. But I did tell you that you'd see me every once in a while, and I won't be engaging as much, and certainly won't be on social media, anything going into conversations or seeing too much. But I will be here every once in a while. Something comes up in my head, and then I decide, well, maybe I want to talk about that and stuff. But I won't be talking about anything, of course, for you to improve yourself. So since we're doing a 30-day challenge, which will end on July the 26th, if I'm correct, and I might have to check that again. We won't be talking about any improvement. I won't be coming in here telling women to do this or do that. I won't be telling you to do anything. Um, I will, however, be talking about some other subjects that maybe I wanted to talk about before. I just haven't had a chance, or stuff was coming up, and I thought, well, this would be a good subject to talk about during this time where you're not improving yourself, where you're loving what it is about you, and maybe finding some stuff that you need to be requiring in other people. You loving yourself. People need to be loving you the way you're loving yourself. Okay, to be in your life. And so today I'm going to talk about the serial monogamist. Now I know you probably heard of this before, and I talked about it just in briefly when I did my Lord have mercy, he's hot last week on George Clooney because he's a serial monogamist, and I'm I'm not that fond of serial monogamous, and I'm not that fond of men who are serial monogamous and who seem to think that it's some sort of, really sort of um, really badge of honor for them to be serial monogamous. I mean, for women, if we were serial monogamous, we'd be looked on as crazy. But for men, it seems to be some sort of badge of honor to be a serial monogamous. And women are patting them on the back and saying, wow, you're a person that can commit. But I'm thinking, no, you really can't commit. You just jump from relationship to relationship. They're just long relationships and stuff. And women patting them on the back and congratulating them for not really doing much, doing what would be called basic. And I know, ladies, you hear a lot of stuff talking about men and talking about women and what women need to do, but you don't hear much talking about what men need to do. And you don't hear many women on black women centric blogs talking against men, unless they're really downright dirty, low down dogs, and stuff. And then they'll talk against men and stuff. And then they'll say stuff about guys and hand you warnings. But, really, I'm not suspecting that most women are getting, all they're getting is a bunch of low down dirty dogs. I'm thinking what most women are getting is average dudes that just got some problems and stuff, and they don't really know how to distinguish. And, nobody talks against the dude that's just sort of kind of an average, kind of an average guy, but, sort of suspect. He does suspect stuff. And, and if you talk against him, or in the world of black women centric blogs, particularly those pertaining to interracial, if you talk against a non-black man or white man, then somehow you're the worst person in the whole wide world. And oh my God, you're going to run them away. And if he can't take a little criticism, what do you want with him anyway? If he can't, if it's something about him, well, if somebody says something that's not even pertaining to him, that hurts his feelings so bad, he thinks he doesn't want to date black women. Black women, you're lucky. You've been saved. So I'm not dancing around anybody's feelings, and I'm not going to sit here and try to boost up, average schmoes as the best dudes in the whole wide world. I'm not going to not talk about non-black men and white men in particular. I'm not going to not say stuff about them and what, you may need to look out for, or some signs that maybe this guy isn't, the best guy in the world, because what I thought was going to happen has happened. These men have now picked up on the game, you know, and stuff. And listen, I've said this before. White men got game, just like black men got game. It's just different sort of game and stuff. And I'm not anti-black woman. I'm not anti-marriage. I'm not anti-interracial marriage. I'm not trying to act like I was special and I got the special one white guy. Please don't come here with that mess. I'm not that person. There are a lot of great white guys and non-black guys out there, but there are a lot of shifty bastards too and stuff. And I want to warn you about the shifty bastards. I don't believe in lying. I'm pro black woman all day, but I'm not pro lying, and I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'm not gonna tell you every guy you'll meet will be the best dude ever, and he knows he isn't the best dude ever. And particularly, I'm talking to, giving a little warning about the average, maybe nice guy, as they call him, the average nice guy that's really not as nice as he appears to be, or the average guy that women are like, oh yeah, he's just so, and yeah, it's not all it's shaped up to be. The serial monogamist is one, and we'll talk about others as time goes on, but the serial monogamist is number one. The thing about the serial monogamist is they usually aren't in their 20s. You don't have time to become a serial monogamist at 20. The serial monogamists are people that are in their mid to late 30s and 40s, usually 40s. It's a guy who's been in a whole lot of committed relationships, and long-term relationships, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, maybe more. And he's been in a couple of them. He's never been married, never asked a woman to marry him. And when you talk about, well, what happened in your last relationship, and stuff, he'll come up with some excuse about, well, she wasn't the right girl, or I didn't really feel like I was at the right point in my life, to marry her and all this stuff. And, and I'm just thinking there is no right point to do anything. There's no perfect any time to do anything. So there's usually a lot of excuses for why he didn't settle down and commit with this woman. Now, this is particularly for women that want to get married. If you don't really care about marriage, girl, go on and date him. Y'all, y'all can serial monogamous y'all way into whatever. But if you're thinking about marriage, I would be wary of the serial monogamous. Okay. It doesn't mean all the time that they're going to stay serial monogamous. And you could certainly ask questions, like I say, ask questions about why they didn't get married, and stuff, or why he didn't go with a long-term commitment in his last relationship. And, don't be scared. As I've said before, women, stop sitting there with your mouth. You wondering and you got problems. Stop sitting there with your mouth closed. Open it up. Ask some questions. This is your life. This is the person in your life that's about to take up time in your life, take up space in your life that could be, possibly used on somebody more worthy. Why sit there and waste your time with him, while he's dilly-dallying and, going back and forth and willy-nilly about all sorts of stuff? Well, why am I wasting time with you, and stuff? Ask the questions so you can get the information so you can make an informed decision. Now, let me be honest. My husband was a serial monogamous sort of man. And when I first met him and he told me, and I was kind of like, that's why I say sometimes serial monogamists aren't always bad people. You really have to get the whole story. Okay, that's the best part. Don't just sort of, as soon as he tells you that he's been in like 3 or 4 long-term relationships and stuff, don't be like, oh, I'm just throwing you out the door and stuff. Because the thing about the average dude is you got to ask questions. The average dude could go either way. He could go to be a really great dude, and he could go to be a really jerky jerk, and stuff. It's just sort of how he answers questions, what actions he does that'll sort of settle on who it is that he's, going to be in your life. Okay, so I ask questions. And I asked a lot of questions. He had been in a relationship previous to me where he was engaged to someone, and they had been together 8 years, and he was engaged for 5. Yeah, I was suspicious. Please, yeah, I was suspicious. And I was just like, well, why would y'all, what was that about, and stuff. You're with her and you ask her to marry her, and then it's like 5 years, you never get married, you break up. And he was like, she didn't want to get married. She did not want to marry. She did not want to get married. Like every time I would try to talk about getting married or to make about plans about getting married, she would always put them off. So I was like, oh, okay, and stuff. And so I was like, all right. But the actions he had and took toward me were of a man who wanted to get married, and stuff. There wasn't these actions where he was sort of ducking and dodging or making other plans or doing. It was actions of a man that wanted to not only be in a committed relationship, but wanted to marry the person. Because it must have been, maybe that was a year into our relationship. Yeah, that was a year into our relationship. And he asked me to marry him and stuff, and then by the second year we were married. And so it wasn't his actions weren't of a man that was ducking and dodging and trying to stay a serial monogamous. But many serial monogamists stay serial monogamous. And it's dependent upon you whether you're going to be one of the many long links in the chain of his serial monogamy. Okay, and asking questions is the best way to figure this out. Also, not only asking questions, but also watching actions. I say this all the time too, and it's true. I don't really care what people tell me. Talking and telling me stuff, whatever. It's not. I'm hardly impressed by what people say. I'm only impressed by what people do. And if you do stuff, if your actions match your words, then I'm like, okay, I can trust you. I can trust you. And maybe I can trust what you say. But if your actions and your words don't match up, then I don't trust, I just trust your actions. I don't trust what you say. I just trust what you do and stuff. And so it's important to ask the serial monogamous, what went on in the last couple of relationships? What happened? Why were you with this person and you didn't? I mean, I asked and stuff. Most people are like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. Yeah, well, I wasn't going to sit around. At the point when I met my now husband, I was older. I didn't have much time to waste, and stuff. And by the time you meet a real serial monogamous, you are probably in your late 30s because they're in their mid to late 30s or 40s. Baby, you ain't got time to waste. You don't have time to, doll around with him and dink around with him while he tries to figure out what he wants to do regarding committing to somebody, or being married to someone. You don't have that kind of time. You need to know. And the best way to know is to ask. That's the best way to know, is to ask. It's not to, it's not to sit there and try to guess or hope or think, oh, well, he was in some long-term relationships previously. Maybe I'll be the one. Yeah, I'm sure the other ones thought the same thing you were thinking. Okay. And now they've got, 4 or 5 years wasted, with some nice guy and stuff, that they could have actually been in a relationship that was leading toward the thing that they wanted, marriage. Okay. There are lots of serial monogamous dudes out there. They're everywhere. There are lots of dudes that don't know, they can't make up their mind. They can't figure out what they want to do. They want to have a cake and sort of eat it too and all that sort of stuff. And you're not doing that with me. Okay. You're not going to have your cake and eat it too. I'm not doing that. I'm at the point we were together. I wasn't really sure about with my now husband. I wasn't even really sure about being married again. But I didn't like the idea of, some dude that was kind of jumping from long-term relationship to long-term relationship and stuff, and I like I said, I wasn't even sure whether I wanted to get married or not and stuff. But I didn't really like the idea of somebody, that would, because my thought that would string somebody along for a long period of time and then at some point sort of drop them. That didn't sit well with me. And so yes, I asked the questions. And yes, it's okay to ask the questions. Now, if you want to be in a long-term relationship, you don't want marriage, you're not thinking about marriage is not in the picture for you and stuff, and there are lots of people like that. It's not in the picture for you. You need to just, you could be okay with the serial monogamous. You could be fine with that. That could be perfect for you. And you guys, who knows? I mean, what may happen. But if you're, and to be truthful with yourself, if that's not what you're looking for, don't settle for that because he's a guy. Just because he's a guy, well, I'll have somebody and it'll be a long-term commitment. And then maybe I can change his mind. Whatever. I don't even get people. You can't change anybody's mind about, that sort of stuff. Particularly when it comes to men. You're not going to change his mind about, because really women are trying to snap him up for some odd reason at every turn, and, just like George Clooney, they're throwing themselves at his feet. And this man ain't never married nobody, ain't asked nobody to be married and stuff, I think last girlfriend got like, a check or something at the breakup. I don't know. I mean, it's not going to happen and stuff. And so you need to try to, because yeah, you may find a guy that's had a couple of long-term commitments, but you at least need to try to know what happened, ask some questions, weigh and figure out whether okay, well, he's a pretty good guy, and start watching his actions and seeing, okay, well then I got a really great guy, or start watching his actions and figure out, okay, this joke over here is just running straight game and stuff, because yeah, it's happened. White men have figured out how to run game on black women. And when it comes to our dating, and a bunch of them are now running it, and having a good time running it, and having women chase them around and, want them really badly and think that they're going to, have a committed relationship or somebody that's going to care about them and stuff. And this guy is just, he's just stringing women along. And yeah, these dudes have figured it out. Okay. Ladies, you need to be vigilant. Because these guys have figured it out, and now they're playing games and playing mind games, and and treating women badly and tossing women, sexing women down and tossing them out like yesterday's trash, every single day. These guys are doing that. So you need to be really careful to figure out who is serious and who is not so serious. Because you will probably meet a lot of serial monogamous. And I know a bunch of you probably have met a bunch of dudes who are serial monogamous. That is not always a bad thing, but that is not always a good thing either. It is up to you to ask the questions, to watch the actions, to see what's happening, to figure out whether or not you have something that's worth your time, or whether you're wasting your time. Remember, it's your time. At this point, with serial monogamous, it's not young people. I'm not talking about young people. I'm talking about people older, okay, who are usually serial monogamous. I'm talking about older people. So it's not like you have a bunch of time to waste. Be mindful of that, and stuff, And hey, you don't have to call him out on what he's doing. You don't have to do nothing. You just keep it moving. You just keep it pushing, and stuff. If he's really interested, he'll show his interest. You won't have to beg. You won't have to trick. You won't have to plead and stuff. He'll show it to you and stuff. And he'll do what it is that saying, hey, I want to move into a committed, committed marriage with you, and not just this sort of thing of us, hanging out, being girlfriend and boyfriend for the rest of our lives, or at least for the next 5 or 6 years. So that's sort of my plea for today. Ask the questions of the serial monogamous, okay? Because yeah, they could be okay. You could have one that was like my husband, and you could have a really good one. But I've seen serial monogamy, like in the case of George Clooney, just go bad. And I mean, I wouldn't say, if most people saw him, or if you see him, most people wouldn't call him a jerky guy. That's how scary it is. Most people wouldn't call him a jerk, or probably not even his ex-girlfriends, or even mean, or or a dog, or anything like that. Most people wouldn't do that. They would just call him a nice guy. And those are the ones that you sometimes have to be sort of wary of. Actually, we'll talk about the nice guy next time. It's something worth talking about, because the nice guy is, I think is a conundrum for many women when it comes to dates. So next time we'll probably talk about the nice guy. So I'll talk to you guys later. I won't be back this week. I'll probably have something on Friday, with something about hot guys, but I won't be back anymore this week. You'll probably see me next week. I hope you guys are having a good time, and I hope your Stop Fixing Yourself 30-day challenge is going really well. Mine's going well, and my social media diet is not going too bad. I'm 2 days in. I'm pretty good and stuff. So I hope everything is going well with you guys. And wherever you are, if the sun is shining, get out there and enjoy it. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye.